I usually am very impromptu, but this morning I woke up and I realized I'm going to write something, so bear with me. This is coming from my heart. To walk through the 100-acre wood is a joy journey, a terrific experience that opens the inner being to the miracles of natural life. Our first walk through Chuckanut Ridge is what inspired us to passionately pursue putting aside this magical wonderland for future generations, for the now of intimate exhilaration, and for the natural life of the critters and plant world that is alive in our most precious plot of land. As the civilized world continues to encroach upon the Earth's natural systems and life forms, it is so important for us as a species interested in survival to ensure that there are areas that are left to be, just left to be, natural and free of immediate and long-term threats of extinction. We can survive as a species by working and playing together to support all those efforts that see the future and the now, needing the wisdom of Mother Nature in the form of as many sanctuaries of natural life as in as many places as we can possibly provide. The joy is in the breathing in of the miracle of life and absorbing the wonderment, diversity, and miracle of life and mutual dependency of the many life forms found in natural environments such as our 100-acre wood. It is a peaceful bubbling of energy that is so refreshing in our compartmentalized, computerized cacophony we are all saturated in these days. Let us continue to question the massive energy of blind development, saying no to the destructive systems such as ripping coal from the earth to fill our skies with destructive emissions, and by refusing coal's passage through our domain. We can make a difference in our present world and in our future by choosing the path of peaceful, sustainable joy that emphasizes life and denies self-destruction. Thank you.
So because some things happen even beyond our wildest imagination, let's all just take a moment and feel the energy of the mystery, the magic, and the miracles that are available at all times. And feel our gratitude for Mother Earth, and for the powers that be when they align to allow such things happen as what's happening here in this community. we're just going to show a very short clip from one of the videos that we made.
We got the lights. We're going to watch a 4-minute clip of the video that was very significant in saving Chuckanut Ridge, and then Jody.
Just what is so special about this
Jody will be
land?
speaking.
We decided to explore the true values of this forest.
So the character and the environment continues to change, mostly dictated by what man has done with it. We have here beside us the marsh connected to this property that is probably the largest single entity environment that's been uninfluenced to any degree by man yet. And that's what we're looking at today, and what I would certainly like to see and my agency would like to see preserved. Wide variety of plant life here, aquatic plants. They're all an indication of richness, not only in diversity of plants, but of insects that would live on them, and of course insects are food for the various birds and fish and so on, and frogs. So this is not a sterile, as it sits right now, this is not a sterile environment.
The wetlands on this property are forested wetlands, which are generally agreed by the wetlands scientific community to be the most valuable and the most difficult kinds of wetlands to replace or to replicate. The combination of Oregon ash and Sitka spruce in this wetland means that this needs to be considered. It may have other qualities that we don't know about. There are also cedar, which again is relatively rare, especially in Bellingham, where most of the wetlands have been seriously disturbed, and it should be considered a unique wetland for Bellingham and maybe for Whatcom County.
Wetlands and the riparian forest adjacent to them are the most productive habitat that we have per unit area. There's at least 359 different species of animals alone that are found in western Washington riparian and wetland area.
We do know that there are species here that are species of concern or that have protected status, and those would include the pileated woodpecker, which is our largest woodpecker.
The adjacency to water and the nice protection that this area offers, it's probably a deer fawning area. That's typically where they fawn, is right adjacent to wetlands, to water. Another reason why the deer are here is because we've got a lot of diversity in forest stand here. There's openings. You can see they get in the sunlight, and you can get different kinds of plants to feed on, and they get back in a stand like that, and they've got protection from the wind and the rain. So, combination of factors make this really desirable.
A federal species of concern is the red-legged frog. It, like many frogs, requires both wetland, aquatic, and terrestrial habitats. It breeds in the aquatic habitats, and then it spends most of its life in the terrestrial habitats.
We've got red fox that migrate from this area here, across Chuckanut Drive. People have seen them. I've been in wildlife management and through the woods in 30-some years. And in all that time, it's the only area I've ever seen the red fox. Constantly keep in mind that no environment, marsh, wetland, or anything is an entity unto itself. It does affect the lands and the waterways and the wildlife and everything for miles and miles below it. And that's what we need to look at, because this connects to Chuckanut Bay. And if siltation starts flowing down this from road development, land development, if herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers go down into Chuckanut Bay, we have some very sensitive critters down there. And they would all be influenced by the quality of the water that comes from this marsh, comes from this development if it occurs.
There are also a number of fish that either spawn and rear in the wetlands here or in the creeks that it drains into. Those include the cutthroat and steelhead trout, and coho, chum, and Chinook salmon.
This area right here, right where the feeder stream, the main feeder stream, crosses underneath the interurban trail. 1 week ago, I was able to see a female sea-run cutthroat that was finishing digging a nest there. When you start talking about an ecosystem and interrelationship, realize that one of nature's critters, a sea-run cutthroat, has passed all the way from the saltwater, Chuckanut Bay, up through a stream system, through this big marsh, and its interrelated little waterways, and come up to the head end of the marsh and spawn. The importance of that one animal, I think, is underestimated a lot. The sea-run cutthroat is an extremely sensitive indicator species to indicate the health of an environment. The fact that it's here now indicates this is an extremely healthy environment, one worth saving.
Thank you, Phil. That's Phil Heaven running around like a maniac. Holding this together. Now we'd like to bring up another extremely important longtime leader in the movement to protect Chuckanut Ridge. Jody has led, was it 16 greenways campaigns? Is that right, Jody? Without further ado, Jody Bergsma.
I see quite a few people have started to leave, and I was going to do the wrap of the evening and ask all of you to take a moment and look at each other in this room, and I'm going to give a brief 3-minute history of the development of events that led to this evening. And I'm going to ask many of you to stand, and I would like you to look at these people and look at the faces of those that have given of their life, time, family time to make this evening happen. For you to realize how many years has gone by, I would just like my daughter to stand. Sky is here. She was 3 years old when we had our first meetings for Interurban Neighbors. And even when she was 8 and wrote her first letter, we were just beginning the Greenway Campaign #2. So 20 years, what really is 20 years? And how many lives have played a role? So some of the people have left, but if you are still here, I ask you to stand.